Buddy, I'm filling in for Charles today because he was in a car crash going around the moons of Jupiter. Unfortunately, his head has been put onto someone else's body, so it's just me talking about this episode. Put your head on my shoulders. Ah, shit, I can't do this. Charles, can I phone a friend? Where is he? Are you here? You want to do this intro?
Oh man, it's just thanks for trying to fill in, but like it's just been really frustrating for me lately. It's just like how it is with Amy. Like I was really enjoying seeing Amy, dating her, but now she's talking about hanging out.
Yeah, you saw her at work. There's Amy. You saw her. Where was it? On a date. There's Amy.
Yeah, see, I wake up. Take this morning. Before I came back home, I wake up after sleeping with Amy. It was great. I wake up, wonderful night. I wake up the next morning in the bed. I turn over. There's Amy. She's smothering me, man.
Yeah, this episode has very relatable problems.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like it's insane. Like it's because Fry's in this lovely relationship with Amy, and then Fry's delusions, like his delusions of grandeur. Like he decides that or maybe it's to make subconsciously it's to kind of get Leela's attention. I don't know, but he decides that he has to have a talk with Amy, because how you love chocolate, but then chocolate starts to get annoying because it wants to hang out all the time. Amy asks him, of course, you don't like chocolate? Look, could chocolate just let me finish? I found it very strange that Futurama has the funniest sitcom relationship oriented dialogue in the history of that particular format, and yet it's the science fiction show. I don't know what it is. I think it's just how fun the character and brilliant and flexible the character of Fry is to these sitcom situations, these Gen X sitcom situations. It's just tremendous.
It's like the episode where Leela's literally just Al Bundy's wife, the role she played in Married with Children. Mm-hmm. They parody sitcom lines. They've probably watched so many sitcoms that they just parody that fast sitcom, canned laughter rhythm to the point, and they fill them in with these just wicked, nihilistic, dark jokes that, sort of apathetical to what those lines usually are, which are normally just sort of, middle of the road put downs and things like that. Or toilet humor. And so that's why I think that this episode, I do really like it, though it's not like a Futurama classic, I guess, in the canonized sense of what a Futurama classic is, where people are like, oh, it's got to hit them feels or whatever. But I think this is a perfectly one of the best Futurama episodes to just watch any time. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon version of Futurama where every joke is just amazing, and all the characters are on point, and all the dynamics of their relationships all lead to just comic gold. Even Zoidberg tagging along on the trip is quite funny because he ends up, mutilating. It's both effective and funny for both the plot and the episode. So yeah, they don't do anything wrong with this episode. It's just it's just sort of non-stop entertainment.
I would actually say that this is a major classic of Futurama. I think this is brilliant because I think the premise of having, it's a basic sitcom premise, let's have Fry and Amy have an office romance. This initial portion of the plot, I love the portion of the plot where they're buying the car. That's a lot of fun. And then Fry and Amy, their initial trip to Jupiter is very, very fun. And then, them dating's kind of fun, and it's like this nice little moment, cute moment. And then Fry's strange reaction to it is hysterical, I find. And of course, and then it culminates in a completely off the wall yet totally Futurama and sickly dark humor moment of Zoidberg having no other option but to attach Fry's head to Amy's body.
Yeah.
And so Amy has she's got another head on her shoulder. It's Fry's. And she's initially fine with it, which is kind of always, I found that kind of always hilarious how Amy was just totally fine.
Yeah.
Fry's head being on her body, and Amy's potential suitor is totally fine with it as well. I always find that kind of strange.
Yeah, and Fry doesn't think about it and breaks up with Amy while his head's still on there.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much he doesn't think ahead of like the next like few seconds of what he wants. I just think. And then the second half of the episode, Bender's dating service. This has the infamous, stupid anti-pimping laws. Well, pay the man. Bender, honey, we love you. Shut up, baby, I know it. One of the great snippets of Futurama. And then Bender's dating service is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, he just rounds him up at the bus station.
What's your name? Zap. Zap Smith. Brandon. And then eventually Lila relents and decides that she asks how much. $500 done. Is that Brannigan okay? No, $600. I think this episode script is glorious. And then of course the Nutley thing. Bender, did you round up all these people from the bus station? Of course not. Anyone else for Nutley? And the ending is phenomenal where Leela's trying to berate Bender and Bender's going, didn't I, Leela? Didn't I?
But isn't that what Valentine's Day is all about?
And he's right. No, I think this is a brilliant episode because the whole, Office Place, year 3000, Office Place circumstances, and in that, it's such an absurd sitcom premise that only Futurama can nail, and Fry being the fish out of water to this absurd situation. Yeah, no, I think it's tremendous. It's one of my favourite episodes of Futurama in general. It ranks alongside my very favourite episodes of the first season, and I'm going to say this is actually my favourite episode of the season thus far. I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely be one of them.
No.
Still not better than the Nixon episode.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah.
This season peaks, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
It's got a...
Wow. Okay. Put your head on my shoulders. A big favourite of mine. I guess we call this the Amy episode of the season, and it's a really good one. And this is prior to Amy episodes being Amy and Keith episodes as well, which is not a bad thing, but it's an interesting point in the show's timeline.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Amy doesn't have the most episodes, actually. She's normally, like, in subplots.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely a good example of an Amy episode. What's next? Is it the Hermes one?
The next episode after this.
Okay. What's next?
Wait, what do you mean, sorry?
What's the next episode?
Raging Bender.
Ooh, Raging Bender. There we go. That's a pretty good one.
Alright, we'll end it here.